Now, recently I did a video on a Tom Ford inspiration by the brand Dossier, and it was for Tom Ford Metallique. Here we have Jasmine Rouge, which is a really nice jasmine-based fragrance. Of course, Dossier's interpretation is called Floral Jasmine. I'm really looking forward to giving you my thoughts on this fragrance, also letting you know how close I think it is to the original, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's episode and I give you my thoughts on Floral Jasmine, which is Dossier's interpretation of Jasmine Rouge by Tom Ford, it's part of the private blend line. You know it can be quite pricey. I want to start the video off first by saying that if you're a fan of fragrance-related content, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and please give this video a thumbs up for the algorithm. It would really mean a lot to me. So here we have a Dossier fragrance, and what I really enjoy about the brand is the transparency. So inside of the box, which is quite minimalist, but again, it's, direct to consumer, cutting out the middleman. The prices are quite low. You can go on their website and you can see how inexpensive their fragrances are, but I really do appreciate the transparency. For starters, the concentration. So here it's 18% concentration of aromatic compounds. So instead of subscribing to labels like eau de toilette, eau de parfum, which can be quite nebulous and it varies from brand to brand, brands pretty much make up their own labels depending on the concentration, and it's quite fluid as opposed to, static. But here we have the notes as well. So in the top we have neroli, cardamom, bergamot, and pepper. A little fresh, a little spicy. In the heart you have jasmine, sambac, ylang-ylang, and broom flower. So that comprises that floral bouquet that you have in the mid. In the base you have labdanum, clary sage, and vanilla. A little aromatic, perhaps even a little ambery as well. But the name is Floral Jasmine. Also gives you a little bit of an inkling as to the genre that this one is going to be classified in. Nevertheless, I'm looking forward to giving you my thoughts on the smell. Let's start things off with a quick look at the presentation first. Now, of course, in the opening of this fragrance, you are going to get the jasmine. It opens up in a very bright, floral manner, and of course if you were not expecting floral from this, then I don't know what you were expecting, because this is inevitably going to be a jasmine based fragrance. Now, of course, jasmine smells very clean, it smells pure at times, there's a gentle quality about it. Of course, if you're dealing with a very natural smelling jasmine, you're going to get a compound known as indole, which can be a little animalic, a little rough and tumble, and you do actually get a little bit of that in here, but you do have that spiciness in the opening. You have pepper and cardamom, but it's not overwhelming. There is bergamot, there's a really nice deal of citrus in here, and you do have that clean nature coming in the heart on account of the jasmine. Of course, the ylang-ylang gives it a little bit of this exotic, sort of a tropical quality per se, but it's really like 80% jasmine, 20% ylang-ylang. So if you think it's going to be a star player, of course I'm referring to the ylang-ylang, it's not. You're going to get more jasmine than anything else. Now, in terms of that ambery sweetness that I alluded to earlier on in this video, you do have labdanum, you also have vanilla, and I initially had the impression that, this is going to be a bit on the ambery side of things. Not really. It's not vanillic, it's not balsamic either, it's not resinous, it doesn't give you that thickness that perhaps you were expecting upon initially reading that note breakdown. It's really all about the jasmine, and of course with a name like Jasmine Rouge, the rouge aspect of it is synesthetic, right? You smell something and you think of a color. Well, what's red or rouge about this fragrance? I think all of that is interpretive, and I think it's up to your creativity and your imagination. You think of something like Bleu de Chanel, what's blue about it, right? So anyway, the overarching question that we must ask here, especially from a consumer vantage point, is, does this smell close enough to the original Jasmine Rouge, which has been around for many years now? And if so, does it warrant purchasing this given the steep price tag of the Tom Ford counterpart? The bottom line is this: they are incredibly close to one another. What Dossier does is what pretty much every clone company does. There is a very sophisticated process known as gas chromatography and mass spectrometry. You put in 5 to 10 milliliters of the original formula, and then this very expensive piece of sophisticated machinery spits out the reverse engineered lab analysis, and it tells you exactly what ingredients need to go into a product in exactly what quantity. And of course, as long as those ingredients are available to a manufacturer of perfume, and 9.5 out of 10 times they are, unless we're dealing with something super hard to find. And of course, that's only the case for some artisanal brands that use very peculiar natural raw materials. But if we're talking about a mass marketed designer fragrance, they're using raw materials that are accessible by pretty much any perfume manufacturer, unless we're dealing with captive molecules, which is a totally different story. The bottom line is this is incredibly close to the original Tom Ford Jasmine Rouge. So if you want to save yourself a few $100s, it would behoove you to get the Dossier counterpart. And it smells very close. It smells awesome. If you're a fan of Jasmine, check it out. And it's a very smooth, clean, professional, elegant smelling Jasmine. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. So first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, now the thing with this fragrance is it's not unique because it is an inspiration of a popular designer fragrance. But at the end of the day, it smells quite wonderful. The Jasmine is very clean, pure, ethereal. It has a gentle nature about it, very likable. In terms of the longevity, you can expect about 7 hours on skin. Again, the concentration is 18%. Projection on this fragrance is going to be about, I want to say, a little bit beyond an arm's length for the first hour on account of the citrus and the spice, a lot of those notes residing in the top. It became an elbow's length scent right around hour 5, a skin scent right around hour 7. In terms of the versatility, perfectly unisex, I would say. I think this one is great for dressed up or dressed down on account of the price tag of the Dossier dressed up because it does smell quite fancy. I think this one is great for the springtime, and if you live in a hot weather climate, I think it's going to do really, really well. So I would personally wait for hot weather. Anybody of any age would really enjoy this one. And in terms of the presentation, I've told you what I thought about the Dossier presentation so many times before. Quite minimalist, really do enjoy the transparency, great distribution, magnetic cap. Bottle feels pretty light, and the box is cardboard, very simple construction, but again, it keeps the cost low. My final verdict on this fragrance is, if you're looking for a solid alternative to Jasmine Rouge by Tom Ford, definitely check out Floral Jasmine by Dossier. And there you have it. That was my review. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you took something of value from today's episode. If you did, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it. Hit the bell and give this video a thumbs up. Thanks again for watching. I love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow with a new episode. Bye.